I'm very proud to be the first African. I'm proud to be the first woman. But I always tell people that the important thing is to have the competence to deliver the results. In other words, if you're the first woman and the first African and you can't deliver, that doesn't help.
The appointment of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as the first female and African head of the World Trade Organization is receiving positive responses. On Monday, the WTO's 164 members unanimously selected the 66-year-old development economist to serve a 4-year term as Director General of the Trade Organization. She will take over the institution with its budget of $220 million and staff of 650 at a critical time when global trade has slowed due to coronavirus pandemic. But what does her appointment mean for global trade? Cheta Nwanze, public affairs analyst and lead partner at SBM Intelligence, shares his views.
Her becoming a WTO DG changes a paradigm. The paradigm it changes is the fact that an African and a woman can aspire to the highest levels of international diplomacy. And that's a very important paradigm change. It tells us that Africans are slowly getting to positions where we can actually influence global trade dynamics, global dynamics. However, having said that, it doesn't change much. It doesn't, getting to the top of the World Trade Organization does not change the fact that Africa is responsible for about 5% of global trade, just under 5% of global trade. So which means that our biggest concerns will still remain the U.S. and China, both of which together are responsible for almost 40% of global trade, a lot more than Africa. The main thing that she would need to focus on is getting her country of origin, Nigeria, to accept that trade is something. Until recently, our borders were closed for almost 2 years. Nigeria is clearly a country under the current Nigerian government that does not seem to like free trade and acts against free trade whenever it can. We have something which your newspaper reported on Monday, I believe, about essentially sugar, cement, and rice being exempt from the African Continental Free Trade Agreements for Nigeria. That's anti-free trade. Those are anti-free trade policies there. So she can use her position to bring pressure to bear on Nigeria to actually understand that trade is very important. And one thing that Nigeria keeps forgetting is that trade is the second largest employer of labor in our country, second only to agriculture. In most other countries, it is the largest. If Nigeria's agricultural sector becomes more efficient, trade will become the largest employer of labor. So we must change our attitude. And her being in the position that she has is a huge opportunity to help us change that attitude.
After 4 years of bruising battles between Washington and Beijing over protectionist tariffs and import quotas that badly damaged global trade, Okonjo-Iweala is expected to set about bridging a growing divide between the administrations running the world's first and second largest economies.
The main challenge that she faces is in ensuring that the so-called international rules-based order remains intact, so that the greatest period of peace and global growth in human history is not threatened. For that to remain intact, in many respects, she will have to come on the side of the US, because the US, even though they've not been very good faith actors in many cases, have, for good or for ill, been benign leaders of the international trade order. Whether China will be such is something that remains to be seen. I'm not too sure of that. I personally don't like the Chinese attitude of kind of supporting bad actors. But all of that is outside the borders outside global trade. The key thing is to ensure that trade moves on without the hitch, and that the greatest period of growth in human history continues.
Okonjo-Iweala's appointment also comes at a time when the continent of Africa is about to kickstart the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Policy, a policy the government of our own home country, Nigeria, is not very open to because of recent policies of shortening its borders and limiting regional trade.
To put it very bluntly, the man at the head of our government currently is instinctively anti-free trade. So that does not change just like that. You need to bring a lot of pressure to bear, a lot of advocacy, and the results need to be seen.
Expectations are high in many quarters, and trade experts believe that the collective decision by the entire membership of the organization demonstrates a vote of trust, not only in Dr. Okonjo-Iweala herself, but also in the vision that the multilateral trading system should be preserved under watch.